Brothers and sisters, welcome back to the Not So Super Bash Bros presents Game Club for October 2016. We are back for another month of fun times and discussing video games. I am joined by... I fucked that up.
Love it.
I meant to introduce myself first. I am...
Well, who are you joined by, though?
I am Napster Bloke enthusiast, Nick Davis.
I get it.
I am joined by the papyrus to my sands, Mr. Hans Davis.
But yeah.
And everyone's friendly flower companion, Mr. Alex Proudfoot.
Yep, everyone must die.
Yep, everyone must die, including IY Chung, who can sadly not be with us.
Who Alex killed viciously.
Yep. He was all like,
well,
you dissing my game, dog? Die.
There's no evidence.
It's true.
Yes, if you couldn't tell by the intros, this month was my game, and I picked Undertale. The 16-bit inspired RPG developed by one man, Toby Fox. Originally released last year in September 2015. So, what is Undertale? I hear you ask.
Nick?
Yes, Alex?
What is Undertale?
Well, Alex, Undertale is a retro-inspired RPG in this vein of a game like Earthbound, or as it's more commonly known, Mother. Sorry, I'm still getting over a sickness, so I may cough a bit. That kind of takes a lot of those standard RPG concepts that we know and tries to turn them on their head. So one of the main key concepts of the game is like the idea of you can spare monsters instead of killing them. And that ends up tying into a lot of the hooks of the game, but we'll get into that when we actually properly talk about the game. Before we start, as always, we'll go, alright, I did not finish the game. I got to the very last boss fight and could not beat it, because it becomes a full-on bullet hell game. Hans, where did you get to?
I got to the Hotland, which I believe is about halfway through the game.
Yeah, okay. About halfway to two-thirds, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex, you finished it today, I believe, didn't you?
Yeah, I finished it today, yeah.
So I've got up to that bit today and then spent about a good hour today trying to beat that last boss and just could not do it.
Yeah, no, I heard you banging your desk.
It is insane, that fucking boss.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
We'll get into it here, and the first thing I kind of want to talk about is the gameplay itself. As I said, it kind of tries to spin those old RPG mechanics from old JRPGs on its head by introducing a lot of new things. So I think the biggest new thing it does add is, as I said, that idea of sparing monsters. So any combat encounter you go into, you actually have the option to show mercy, but sometimes you may have to, say, jump through a few hoops, because you'll have this act menu where it'll say, alright, you can flirt with this monster, or you can threaten this monster, and then if you do the right set of actions, it will let you spare this monster. And I think it's a really cool concept. It's something that I'd never really seen before in a video game, which I think is really cool. And it is a good spin on this idea of playing on your ideas of these old JRPGs where every random encounter you go into, how I get out of it is I kill the monsters. So I just want to see what your guys' thoughts are on it.
What I really like about the whole sparing thing is it also ties into the story. Well, obviously we'll get to that when we discuss the narrative, but it's a cool thing because the whole expectation of the monsters in this world about humans is that the humans are the monsters. And so the fact that you're sparing these creatures, I think it's a really nice touch to the narrative. I think also, depending on how you play it, there's 3 endings. There's either Genocide, which is your murder, or there's the Grey Path, which is you killed some, you spare some, and then there's also the Pacifist Path, which is you spared everybody. No, I think it's a really cool mechanic, but I personally think it's a bit flawed. Nick, we talked about this. To me, it's fine for the random encounters. That I have no issue with. Because, like you said, it's almost like a puzzle-solving game mixed with some bullet hell. It's puzzle-solving to where you can get to that point where you can spare them. And then it's kind of like it's a bullet hell to avoid the incoming attacks to make sure that you don't die. But my issue is, when it comes to the bosses, is essentially it's just a waiting game for about 80% of the big bosses of each area. It's a waiting game of just getting through all their attacks and dialogue queues to get to the very end, which is just more... It's kind of frustrating, especially when you get to... Now, I gave up because I couldn't get past the spider boss. I
believe her name is Muffet.
That's my issue, is that once you get to that point... So I got to that boss and I couldn't get past her because I couldn't do it. There's no other way about it. I couldn't survive all her attacks. I didn't have enough healing. So at that point, you can go back and get healing items because at that point you get fast travel, for want of a better term, with the boat rides. But my issue is, like, once I shouldn't have to go back, if that makes sense. Like, it's like grinding in any other JRPG. That is bad pacing. So your example of, I'm sorry to do this to you, Alex, but the example of Final Fantasy VII, in Final Fantasy VII, at times you have to
take
go
that
out.
back, you son of a bitch.
But you have to go back and you have to grind to level up, and that's the sign of bad pacing. Like, a good pacing would be if you didn't run away from any encounters and you were at a high enough level that when you hit the next boss, you can get past it easily. Well, it's still challenging, but you still get past it. Plus, you've sunk so much money and stuff into healing items, which is what you need for a pacifist run because you're not attacking. You've sunk so much money into being a pacifist. I found it very hard to go back and get decent weapons to go and do a genocide run. Like, so after a couple of things, I was like, you know what, fuck you, Muffet, I'm going to attack you. And my weapon was so shit, it did like 1 damage every time.
What weapon were you using?
The dagger is like the second weapon you get in the game.
Alright, there's a frying pan in the Hotlands.
Yeah, I believe you just find it lying around.
Yep.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
But then there's another thing, like, how was I supposed to know that if I didn't have a walkthrough? I feel like every game should be playable without a walkthrough, but you need a walkthrough for all the extra tidbits.
You just wander around, that's what I found. I just wandered about the place. I find that, this is the way I need to go, but there's another way. No, let's go back and see what's up there. And that's how I found the frying pan. Also how I found the Dusty Tutu, which I got a phone call about, actually.
Was it Papyrus asking you about the date?
No, he did phone me.
Yeah, he gets a bit
but he was like,
clingy.
My friend saw a human walking about in a Dusty Tutu. Was that you? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, by the way, she's looking to murder you.
Yeah, I think she will just say whatever you're actually wearing at that point, because I think I was wearing like a striped apron.
Yeah.
I was wearing a bandana. Yeah, it changes.
He just talks about whatever you're actually wearing at that point.
Well,
that is a really cool boss fight, though. Is it Undying?
Undying.
That's a really cool boss fight. Did you just go Genocide or Pacifist for that?
I spared one boss.
Who was it?
The skeleton.
Papyrus.
Aye.
Yeah, I spared Pyrus. I think that was it. But
So
I want to.
can I discuss that? I want to talk about that Undone boss fight first. That's a really cool boss fight, but it ties into my issue again. Like, so I went through it and I died. I was like, all right, for fuck's sake. Because I thought it was another case of, right, I need to get to the end of her dialogue and her attack cues, and then I'll be able to spare her. But that's not the case in that boss fight. In that boss fight, it is, you have to run away. So you have to run away from her and then get into the next area, which is the Hotlands. And when she gets to the Hotlands, her suit of armor weighs her down too much, and you have to give her a glass of water to spare her. Like, that, like, how was I supposed to know that? I actually had to look that up. I would have kept trying to get to the end of an ever-ending battle before you know, and then like, okay, what the fuck do I do now? Then I actually had to look up. Okay, you have to run away. So yeah,
that battle when you choose the killer is so good.
Insane, and it is so well done.
Yep.
But I want to go back to Hans's point here about the sparing stuff. I get where you're coming from about saying, oh, maybe it's a bit too obscure, or maybe it's a bit maybe it's not always obvious what you're meant to do. But I also feel like you took the wrong approach of saying, I'm going to do pacifist, this is what I'm going to do on your very first playthrough. Because I liken it to say you're playing Mass Effect, and you're like, alright, I'm only ever going to use shotguns, and then you're sitting there complaining, I can't kill that guy who's 500 feet away with my shotgun. It's the kind of thing you need to think, alright, maybe I need to switch up my strategy. Because the game never, like, it's not a hard or fast thing where you say, alright, this is going to be a pacifist run. It's not like you make a selection in a menu or anything. It is just something you do. And I don't think the game ever explicitly says, alright, do it. The game hints at there being stuff like, if you do not kill it, like, it pushes you towards not killing anyone. And says, like, Turiel at the very start is very, try not to kill anyone, don't be a dick. But I also feel like at a point when you're realizing your pacifist isn't working, you should have the wherewithal to say, alright, maybe I'll just kill this guy.
But I feel like the fact this game's tagline is a game where no one has to die, that automatically puts in my head, oh, that's interesting. Well, maybe I can give... Let's see what that is. You can
fight them and still spare, like the normal creatures.
Yeah, a lot of the normal creatures that if you get them down to a certain amount of health will automatically take mercy.
Oh, well, okay, that's nice. Yeah. But like I said, it's not... Like, the random encounters actually I had no bother with. That was fair enough. It was more the bosses that were my issue. Like, even... Right, okay, so... The first boss... See, every boss fight in that game, although frustrating, is fucking amazing. Like, the way that it uses the UI differently, you know, like Papyrus's bone attack, and you're like, oh shit, I can't jump all this, and then as you jump up, you're like, oh, the screen's going up with me, that's pretty cool. That stuff is unbelievable, don't get me wrong, but the first boss fight, Turiel, right? Did you just kill her?
Yep.
Yeah, I totally regret it now, yeah.
Yeah, you know that you can't lose that fight, right?
Yeah.
Like she
won't kill you. Yeah.
No.
Won't take.
But it's there. So she uses flames attacks. The flame attacks actually go around your cursor.
Yeah.
I purposely tried to like go into the flames, and you can't get hit by those flames. They after you get to certain like 50% health or something, the flames actually purposely are repelled by your cursor. She literally lets you kill her on the spot. That is guilt tripping me. If I'm not supposed to be able, if you say, oh, you're not supposed to try a pacifist run until afterwards. The game guilts you every opportunity it gets because you kill things, and I feel like that should be enough of a deterrent to try the pacifist thing. Like,
I'm not saying don't try a pacifist run, but I'm saying you shouldn't look at it as a hard and fast thing. Like, take for example, say something like Deus Ex, where you have your option of saying, "Oh, I'm going to go in stealthy," but I have this option that if shit goes wrong, I can pull out a gun and start killing fools. It should be. You should be. I think your issue is you're looking at it is it's black and white genocide. I'm going to kill everyone. I'm not going to kill everyone. If you're going, like, I would say any or normal person going into this, like, with no knowledge of the game, will say, like, will fall back on that, alright, I'm going to start killing people because this pacifist thing's not working, or
can't figure
out
Did you just call me not someone. Normal?
You know what I mean? You knew
No, you just called me not normal, you said I'm fucking strange.
Yeah. Well, you are, yeah.
Oh, fuck you too.
You started a game, you started an RPG, right, and you went straight into one of the hardest runs you could get in that RPG of Pacifist.
Yeah, like
that's like me going into Final Fantasy X and saying I'm going to do a no level up run on the sphere grid.
That is like Nick going into Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time and picking the fucking jam roll.
Jelly roll.
That's what that is.
I have to say the reveal by our man Sans that EXP and love.
Oh yeah, that bit is awesome.
They don't stand for what you think they stand for.
Hans obviously didn't get to this point. So before you go into the final boss fight, you're in a hallway and Sans is standing there in like a shadowy figure.
You're in the final hallway, I believe it's called.
The final hallway they call it. And it's even better because you can obviously tell it's Sans by the outline of the shadow, but his font isn't Comic Sans.
Yeah.
It's just the ordinary font and it plays so well, but he's like, oh, this stuff you've been collecting, it's not experience points, it's execution points. And love isn't love, it's an acronym for level of violence. And you're just like, Oh, what have I done?
dear.
Well, see, for you guys, yeah, what's it? For you guys, you'd be like, "Oh fuck, what have I done?" Well, I'd be like, "Oh, look at that! I'm like only level of violence 5 and
Yeah, well,
zero."
you need to be 0 to get a pacifist run.
Yeah, no, I would understand. I understand that. No, surely you should be 1 because you start off level 1, do you not?
Yeah,
No,
you
you
start off
start
on 1. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought you started level 0.
no. I think it's probably. I imagine it's level.
Maybe you
1.
need 0 experience. That's it.
Possibly, yeah.
So, Metaton, or what is the name? Is it Metaton?
Yeah, I think it is.
Metaton, you actually can shoot from your heart. The heart turns upside down to make it look like a ship, and you can start firing at him.
that's pretty
Which is
awesome.
pretty cool. And there's nothing really massively
He was
special
probably
about...
my favorite fight.
Yeah, he's might actually be my favorite character as well.
He
He's
is
just very funny.
amazing, and his evolved form. Oh my god, how awesome!
I can't think of anything massively special for the Asgore fight. Can you, Alex?
No, well, like he has the different attacks. He has like the intro to that fight. I saw that fight intro
it's
good couple of times because
it's so good.
it is.
Hans, I want you to find a video of this. Literally, you're standing there and it does a bit of dialogue, and then Asgore whips up his cloak and literally chucks his weapon through the mercy button and shatters the button.
Like every time I
really?
saw that,
Yeah, as in you cannot. This is going to end one way or another.
But then,
I want
how
you
on a pacifist run, how do you beat him?
You're literally given an option when you get his health
can
down to a
spare
certain
him
point.
at the end. Yeah,
Yeah,
Alright, okay.
you have to kill it, or you get his
and
health down to
then
0, and then you're literally just giving a yes or
he's
no.
like, "I'll just go back to my wife, who I murdered at the start of the game." So
His wife's Turiel.
yeah,
Oh, awkward.
So
Yeah.
bad.
so
But no, I want you to find a clip of that and put it in, because it is, I would say, arguably the coolest moment in that game. So we've talked about them a lot, and I think we have because they are such a core part of this game, and what makes it so memorable are all the colourful cast of characters that are there. Like, from Turiel at the very start to Papyrus and Sans to even towards the end. I think Asgore is a really good character for someone who is in it for like 10-15 minutes. And I think every character like does bring something really cool to the game.
like the
And they're
sunflower.
all, yeah, like the amazing Flurry.
Yep.
He's awesome.
He's an asshole.
Fuck that guy.
I
that guy.
think the story of Undertale as a whole is fucking unbelievable. I really like it.
It is so good.
It is so simple as well. Like, it is this amazing, like, so like the whole thing behind it is humans and monsters. Yes, so we should give a summary, shouldn't we?
So human and monsters used to live in harmony. So it used to be, alright, they lived la-di-da-di-da, and then issues occurred and monsters were kind of locked beneath this mountain. So then a magical gate was put up so that monsters and humans were doomed to never be able to see each other again. However, your story begins as a small child who is presumably playing on this mountain or just fucking up there for some reason, and ends up falling through a crack in the mountain and into this world of monsters, and you're tasked with finding a way out, essentially. And as you go through the game, you find out like more about the history of the monsters, more about why there is this weird simmering hatred between the monsters and the humans. Especially, I think it does it really well, setting up why Asgore is so pissed off and wants to basically become this almighty god so he can go and kill all the humans. Mm-hmm. Which is, I think, you might not have got to, Hans. I think it's more explained towards the end.
I know in the cave bit, it discusses about the souls and stuff. It doesn't really explain why Asgore wants them, but it gives you the idea of like monster souls disappear automatically, whereas human souls linger and can be captured, sort of thing. Yeah.
So essentially they set it up as it's another child fell in to the mountain and was found by Asgore and Turiel's son, Azrael, I believe it's called. And so they were friends, that's fine. But the human child falls sick, and the child's dying wish is that, he wants to be laid down in his old village. So Azrael goes out, he finds a way to get out of the mountain and brings the child with him, the dead child with him, and sets him down in the village. But the villagers seeing this assume that Azrael killed the child. So they basically hunt him back to the mountain, and he becomes mortally wounded but gets back there, but falls dead inside the mountain. So essentially Asgore's like, I lost 2 children that day and now I'm going to kill all of them.
Yeah, that's they got that is a good villain. Like, that is a good, you can understand why he hates you, and you can understand his motive villain.
And he's such an unwilling villain as well, because when you actually meet him, he is so apologetic.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do this, but it has to be done.
Like, this is what has to happen. It sucks, but it has to happen.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, but like, even, like, it's such a, like, not even the character, but the story itself is so simple. Like, you know, it's a simple role reversal of, okay, humans are now viewed as the monsters by the monsters. You know, this is a little 4-year-old kid, and a lot of the monsters are like, oh fuck, don't come near me, you know.
See, a lot of the monsters are like that, but there's also some monsters who are like, what are you? Like, they don't know what a human is.
Yeah, and some are like,
and
even
it's really endearing.
And there's like other ones that are like, what's the woman called, the dinosaur lady thing in the Hotland called?
Alphys.
Yeah, like, she's like fascinated by you.
Yeah. To the point of a bit weird.
Yeah, to the point of infatuation almost. But yeah, no, it is. It's like, it's a really simple narrative tool of like just simple role reversal, and it's not only like really, really interesting, but it actually adds to a lot of comedic moments.
We need to discuss obviously the best character in the game, and that's Sans.
Yeah,
because he's amazing.
Did you take his offer of going to dinner with him in the hotel?
Obviously, yeah.
That story is probably the best story I've ever heard.
Yeah. So he basically tells a story about how he met Turiel, and it's for really bad knock-knock jokes.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, so like, he's discussing like, I was telling her knock-knock jokes, and then one day she knocked the door and was like, he was like, oh, who's there? She's like, oh, old lady. And he goes, old lady who? And he goes, oh, I didn't know you could yodel. It's so good.
Yeah, it was really good until he turned around and said, oh, I should introduce you sometime. And I was like, oh, she's so dead. She is so dead. I killed her. Oh, no.
It got really dark really quick because he was like, otherwise you'd be dead if I didn't make that.
Yeah. He basically says, like, she asked me to protect any human, or otherwise I'd fucking kill you.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Because I think, like, part of what makes that bit and a lot of the other bits so effective is so a lot of the characters have unique dialogue things. So, like, Sans, all his things are written in Comic Sans.
Papyrus, all his things are written in Papyrus.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And even Metatron has, like, unique, like, the way his comes out is very stilted as if it was a robot talking.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, when Papyrus does get all serious, like, it's not in Comic Sans anymore. It's in, like, text, and it's got, like, proper capitalization and all. So it really does strike a chord when you see, like, it's something that I think a lot of non-vocalized games do struggle with, and that's changing tone.
Yeah.
And I think doing something like this is very simple, but really effective when it's done right.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's again, it's a credit to, what's the guy's called? Toby Fox?
Toby Fox.
Like, these are very well developed characters for a game that is so minimalistic. You know, like, Sans literally the entire time is like, oh, I'm silly, I crack corny jokes. But then every once in a while you get this like underlying level of just menace from him. Like, every once in a while, and even his character design is on the whole quite nice and cheery. But there's something about his fucking eyes are just creepy as fuck.
Yeah, when he gets all serious, his pupils disappear. And it is just a black void.
Yeah, he is like, it is, and they're very deep characters for being 16-bit sprites.
Spoilers though. He is the final boss if you do a genocide run.
I have heard this actually, yeah.
And apparently it is a fucking tough ass fight. Like, not even like even Alphys. I'm not sure you maybe didn't even see the conclusion to her story because you didn't get to the Metatron boss fight.
No,
it turns out that she's actually been pulling the strings the entire time. Like, that Metatron was never actually meant to kill you. Like, every time that she was stepped in, this was all planned between her and Metatron. Because she wants to come off as this hero that's saving you, so you actually do recognize her and becoming, like, infatuated with her. And it's, subtle.
Then what happens that you have to fight him? Does he actually lose control?
No, eventually, like, Metatron's like, no, I'm going to fucking kill you now, because
he goes against her plan, because the idea...
He's essentially like, this is what's going to get me ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's like, this is the plan. She's going to burst into this room and save the day, but guess what? The door's locked. So, so I'm going to kill you right now. And then you hear the wee text comes up. It's like, why is this door locked? Are you guys okay in there?
That her throughout the entire of Hotlands, constantly texting you,
Yeah.
2 or 3 times
That
a
is
screen.
hilarious.
I
It
got
is
The
very
3
funny.
switches on the conveyor belt is brilliant.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
amazing.
push the third one now.
You know what's really funny? I'd fucked it up the first time and missed the first one.
Oh, did you?
So I just got 2 and 3. It's like, all right, maybe it's nothing gonna happen. And then I got the first 2, and it was like, no, first and third switch. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, Hans,
Yeah.
let me tell you about how clever this game is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Blow my mind, Alex.
once you beat the king,
Mhm.
What did you do, Nick? Did you spare him?
No, I murdered
You
him.
murdered him? I
Jesus,
spared him.
okay.
Look, he said he wanted to die so he could see his children again, and I was like, all right, fair enough.
And his wife.
No, because he doesn't know his wife's dead at this point.
Yeah, but he would see his wife. I mean,
He would see his wife, but he doesn't say I want. But he comes out and says, "Kill me so I can see my children again."
Okay, right, yeah.
I spared him, and he was like, okay, you can live with me and my wife. I was like, oh no.
Oh,
Alright.
What about that?
Right? And then, dun dun dun, Florrie appears and kills him. Alright,
what the fuck is that Floor's fucking problem?
and then crashes the game.
Were you serious?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
he
couldn't
actually-
believe this. I messaged
Alex
Nick.
actually messaged me saying, "I'm not going to finish
I'm
this
not
game.
going to
It
finish
just
the
crashed
fight.
on me,
Yep, it just crashed, and I'm not doing that.
and I don't
fight
want to
again.
redo the fight." And I was like, "No, you should reboot that game and see
So
what
I
happens."
rebooted the game, and it went through an automated process of like picking my save, and then Florrie destroys the save.
Yeah, he literally shatters your save
Yep,
into
just
pieces. Like,
shatters
this is
it.
what you're doing. He's like, "This is what you're doing from now on. Fight me until you beat me."
And then every time he kills you, the game crashes, or the game closes.
Oh, my head.
Right?
It is. So, you know what it is? Do you know the fake boot screen Arkham Asylum does?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that.
It gets
It's a
even.
better-
I don't know if you got this far in the fight, Nick. He starts
No, I
saving and loading the game. So, in order to try and kill you, he would save the game when an attack hits you and load the game so that it hits you again.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That sounds fucking
And,
terrible.
and he creates multiple save files. I think it gets up to like save 6. It's crazy.
It's
and
meta.
oh
That
my
is
God.
meta as fuck.
And
is
it's
what that
such
is.
an amazing fight. And you have the option to spare him as well at the end.
So is Florrie the last boss then?
he is
Yeah.
the final. Well, if you're doing a pacifist or a neutral run, he is the last boss. Yeah.
So he is
I
the
had
true
the-
final boss?
I went for the neutral.
If we're done with story...
No, hold on.
Okay. Oh, sorry. All right, here we go.
We gotta talk about Napstablook.
Oh, for God's sake.
Because I personally relate to him on so many levels. He just wants to lie down and sleep and not get in anyone's way, and that's how I feel all the time. I feel like I'm in everybody's way and I just want to sleep.
Did you go to his house?
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Did you lie down on the floor with him?
Yeah. Because that's what I want to do, man.
Like-
I just want to lie down.
Can we talk about the mouse at every save point?
What
Yeah,
the
and
fuck
how
is
he's
that?
never going
Because
to get that. Hans, determination.
It escalates to the point where it's like, I hope this mouse, or no, the side of it,
I hope
the mouse being able to eventually crack this high-tech computer and open the lock to get the cheese fills you with determination. It's like, what?
it's like, oh, hopefully one day this mouse will crack this safe. And you're like, okay, yeah, maybe we're getting a bit out of hand.
Maybe one day this mouse will be able to put this spaghetti in the microwave. That fills you with determination.
Because it's fucking frozen spaghetti.
It's also unplugged.
That is Papyrus's main dish, alright? You shut the fuck up.
Did you eat the spaghetti?
Oh.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
I did.
not.
And when he was like, did you eat it? I was like, no. He was like, oh, you wanted to share it with me?
Yes, no, I thought that was the best line. He's like, oh, you did eat it because you want to share it. Yeah, I was like, Yep,
Yep.
totally the
That's
reason.
that's the reason. Yep.
With me, it was like, oh, did you eat it? Yes. We must be soulmates. I don't understand. Did you actually go on the date with him?
No, I don't think you...
You can. I went.
Okay.
Whenever
I just had dinner.
Sans.
I had dinner with Sans like twice.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
well,
did
that's
that as
it.
well.
After you've dinner with Sans the first time, when you go to the underground cave, and he takes you back.
Grillby's, I believe that
Yeah.
a fine establishment is called.
So when he takes you in, when I was walking back out, I saw Papyrus, and I was like, oh, so we'll go on our date. So you go on the date with him, right? And he's at the end of it, he's like, I've got something very serious to tell you. And you're just like, oh, fuck, is he going to tell me he loves me? I don't know how to tell you this. I was like, oh, shit, I'm like 4 years old, dude. This is not okay. And he goes, right, I don't think I could ever feel the same about you, how you feel about me. And he rejects you. And you're just kind of like, you what? It's like, I understand how attracted you are to me, and I appreciate where you're coming from, but I feel like it's okay. Let's just forget about this. We'll always have each other's phone numbers. Sure, you can talk to me whenever you want. I'm like, I just got rejected without even asking someone out by a skeleton. What the fuck?
Before we go to conclusions, we have some unfinished business from last month, Hans.
Do we?
We do. So, when we did Lovers in Danger Space Time episode VIY last month, the three of us compiled our list for that round of games. So, I would now like to ask Alex, would you now like to grace us with your list?
I can do.
Thank you.
So, are we doing it?
Starting from the bottom.
Starting from the bottom.
Yes, please.
So, in last place, Ghostbusters, the video game.
Good.
What?
Fuck you, Hans.
That's not what you were saying last week.
That wasn't last week. Come on, Hans. Can't even get your fucking facts right. What the hell?
It was not an enjoyable experience overall. Like, the first bit of it, great. But, I mean, it was just, I hated it so much. Hated it. Right above it, Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. Mainly because I didn't get to play a lot of it.
Fuck you, Iowa.
And the bits I did play in my co-pilot wasn't adequate. Hans.
Right.
So...
Kettle.
Yeah. Hans, I'm noticing a pattern here between you and bad co-pilots. I'm beginning to think you might be the issue.
I gotta assure you,
just
I'm
saying.
not the fucking issue here, right?
There's a video proving just how inadequate Hans is.
That's the video on Bash Bros Valentine's Day special. Watch
Yep.
it now.
Then I have to go for Alan Wake. I have enjoyed Alan Wake in the past, and I have to rank it obviously above those two, mainly because Ghostbusters sucked and didn't really play Lovers. So I mean, Process of Elimination, and then Mass Effect as number one.
Resounding number one for Mass Effect overall, I believe.
Yep, very good choice.
Therefore, I pick the best games. So now on to official business of our final conclusive thoughts on Undertale. As always, I'll kick off. I think Undertale deserves all the heaps of praise it has been given since it came out in September. It has been an internet darling, and I think it completely deserves that. The characters are first fucking rate, like up there with some of the best characters in video games. Like, it's testament that, say, GameFAQs do their character of the year like every couple of years, and when Undertale came out, Papyrus won for the first time in like 10 years. It wasn't like Cloud or Link, and I think that is testament.
I would have put Sans over Papyrus.
Either of them could have won it, but I think that's
Yeah.
testament to just how strong these characters are, and I think how memorable and how incredibly well realized they are. And even I think the gameplay is top notch as well. I think it turns the ideas of what you would think of a typical 16-bit JRPG on its head, and makes you think about maybe this isn't a mindless game where I just go through killing enemies all the time. Maybe I do need to start thinking about what I'm doing. Everything about this package is incredible, and I would put Undertale up there as one of easily top 10 best games I've ever played. I don't think I could fault it. Without very minor nitpicky things, I don't think I could fault it. Mr. Davis? Other Mr. Davis?
So, there are a lot of things I absolutely adore about this game. I think the story's awesome, characters are awesome, soundtrack is awesome. Gameplay, for the most part, I do like. Looking back now, I would definitely say I would play it as a regular JRPG. I would not try a pacifist run. I feel like the pacifist side of it it's a great concept, but I feel like it's flawed in a bunch of ways, and it's very frustrating. So if they make an Undertale 2, I would love for them to maybe try and I hope they learn from it and maybe implement it in a better way. Another thing that we didn't talk about, but it's a personal nitpick for me, is I don't like the style of the battle screens. It's done in other games as well, like Dragon Quest does it, and the 3DS Pokemon or Digimon games do it, where it's almost like a first person perspective, where you can only
you're looking at the enemies rather than looking at like the battlefield, essentially.
Yeah, that's just a personal thing for me. I don't like that sort of style. I think it looks a bit cheap. I know obviously this is supposed to look 16-bit and fine, and that's understandable, but even in other games I feel like it's a bit cheap, because I quite enjoy seeing how my character has developed with the new equipment and stuff like that. I would still recommend this game, even though I have a lot of issues with it. I would still recommend it, but if I was to recommend it, I would say play it as a regular JRPG. Don't try a pacifist run, because it's just frustrating.
Not on your first attempt anyway, like Hans did.
Yeah, don't be an idiot.
But I would definitely say, yeah, sure, give it a go. I think you get a lot of funny moments out of it. But definitely do it. Play it as a regular JRPG. Don't try anything fancy.
And Mr. Proudfoot.
Well, I mean, when I heard that this had been selected, I was kind of worried, because it was like one of those games, everyone praises it, but I didn't really know anything about it. And yeah, it was like an RPG style game that you don't actually have to kill anyone. I was like, right. And then I found the opening a wee bit slow, not like overly slow, but once it gets rolling, by God, does it pick up. And unless you're an idiot who does a pacifist run on their very first attempt at an RPG, you'll probably love this game.
But yes, November is coming, the nights are getting longer, and it's getting very, very fucking cold. But Alex, what games have you given us to heat us up in these cold winter nights?
Well, I originally said it was a choice between two, but I've decided that there's a clear winner. And it is probably not very well known. In fact, it has, less than 1,000 reviews on Steam. Its overall is overwhelmingly positive.
Oh, that's a good sign.
So my question to you, to give you a hint at what it might be, is there's a trend that came about in the 90s that wasn't really a thing outside of the 90s in video games. Do you have any idea what that might be?
FMV games.
It is, in fact, what Hans just said. So,
I think I know what this is going to be.
My game...
I have two games that could possibly be.
My game of choice is Contradiction.
Oh, it's the one I thought it was.
Oh, fuck yes, I love this game!
Contradiction, Spot the Liar.
I have seen this game, and it is the best. Fuck yes, I'm so excited. So make sure you join us at the end of November for Contradiction Spot the Liar, because it's going to be hilarious. If you thought fucking Papyrus and Sans were funny, just wait till you fucking see fucking Benedict Cumberbatch in this game. State of your FMV. But yes, signing off for October, Undertale, go play it, I think is the general consensus. But it is a goodbye from Hans Davis.
Fuck sunflowers.
It is a goodbye from Alex Proudfoot.
Bye.
And it's a goodbye from me. See you next time.